Hello, I'm Ligia Huben. Welcome to this special occasion because I am here with Leo, who's a very special young man, and he has a story. He has a very inspiring story that I wanted to have this opportunity so you know about him. Because when we face a loss, we make a decision. We either stay there, just at the bottom, not being able to continue to just take one step forward, or we take a step forward and we find meaning in our loss. And that is a very from the heart decision. And Leo has a story that I want him to share with you. So open your minds and open your hearts as you listen to this special man. Leo, it is beautiful having you here. I am so touched by this opportunity. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. So, well, I haven't said yet that Leo, he's a filmmaker and a musician. So he will let us know what he's doing, what his plans are, what has taken him up to now, where he is now. So he has a beautiful story. You'll see. Leo, tell us about you. What brought you in today to this conversation?
Um, well, I guess like my story, right? What happened? Um, I don't know. When I was 16, uh, I lost my girlfriend to suicide, and um, I don't know that it took a huge toll on me, right? So, and you know, you were there. Like it was, I don't know, it was bad. I didn't really have much like direction in my life, and I didn't really care to do anything after that. Um, but I don't know. I think I don't know. Now it's like
What were your thoughts back then? Do you remember? And based on our conversations, do you remember back then? What were your thoughts and what helped you? What helped you back then when you were facing those very extremely painful moments? What helped you, Leo?
back then, just I guess finding a way to express, you know, how I felt. Um, at the time, that was mostly through music, um, and then after that, it became film as well. But at first, it was mostly music. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was just I I felt that, you know, I wasn't really able to talk to many people about it, or really articulate, you know, how I felt. So I basically just put it all into music, you know, and I don't know, hoping that like it could get to other people who were going through something similar, you know.
Exactly, because that is something that Leo wants, because he has expressed it in different occasions, that he wants, through his story, help others who are grieving, because we know how many people are grieving there, and sometimes inspired by others' stories, we may find that help, and this is one of his intentions in following this path. And when you were there, what helped you the most from people, because then you can help others that are accompanied. What helped you the most and what didn't help you?
What helped me the most, um, what helped me the most getting through it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think like, yeah, just finding a way to express myself. I mean, I don't think every person has to express himself like artistically even like I mean a lot of people do, but I feel like um as long as you have a decent medium, a healthy way of expressing yourself, then that'll definitely help you a lot. You know, for some people that might be like, you know, getting really into working out or you know, just anything else. You know, maybe writing.
Hmm.
Um,
That's also what you
writing
do,
is great.
because
Yeah.
he writes also.
Yeah.
Yeah, he writes poems so beautiful. Well, he writes lyrics of his songs and also poems, so he expresses that way as well. And and you said a very important word there. You said healthy ways.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I feel like there's like there's so many unhealthy ways to cope, and you know, I've definitely at first I definitely was dealing with more unhealthy ways. You know, like just sitting in bed all day. I mean, you got to give yourself time to heal, but you know, eventually it comes to a point where it's sitting in bed all day watching TV. You know, won't help you much. You know, or even just sitting doing nothing and just rotting and just thinking about it. Just it won't help you much.
How do you think that doesn't help us much? Or at least you can talk about your experience. How do
Yeah.
you think that didn't really help you much?
For me, that didn't help me much because I don't know. I was just kind of sitting and dwelling in my pain and dwelling in the thought of what had happened. And I realized after a while that you know I I should try to honor her, and I don't know. I felt I felt really guilty for what happened too, and I just I don't know. It just started eating me up inside. So as soon as I started trying to create, um, as soon as I started making music and making art, it just helped me find a way to articulate these thoughts that were going on in my head rather than just having them sit there.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Because that helps a lot, to find a way to express it instead of keeping everything in our heads, to find a medium, as Leo says, to express that. And from people, what do you feel helped you the most from those around you?
From people,
Yeah. Because
um,
sometimes people don't know what to do with the griever.
yeah,
So maybe you can give us some light as well, especially being a young man. This happened when you were 16. Now you are 18. So you can give us some light of how to help you young people.
I think I don't know. From others, it's like I think I guess I mean I understand that it's like a nice way of you know saying things, but eventually it gets tiring to hear I'm sorry after a while, because it's like what are you sorry for? Um, I really just appreciated mostly like from people who are close to me, just I don't know, just a hug
Ah,
and hearing that they're there for me.
okay.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Because that's what we say, that sometimes we say things, make comments with the best of intentions, but we do not receive them sometimes, that they help us. So instead of saying words, maybe just as he said, to give a hug and to say to the griever that you are there for them. So that's beautiful. And then how it evolved. So you were writing, how did the album came to be? Say the name of your album and how it came to be.
So the album is called Songs for a Long Train Ride Home, and I know it's like a super long name, but
What's the meaning?
before Kennedy had passed, uh, I created it like a CD for her, and I called it Songs for a Long Train Ride Home because they were songs that I would listen to on the train ride from and to to and from her house, and she lived like a 40-minute train ride away from me. And so those songs would remind me of her, and I put them all into a playlist, and I put it into a CD and gave it to her. And after she passed, I started working on that album, and I started making all these songs, and of course I decided to call it that, in honor of her. So yeah.
That's beautiful. And that word that you said, to honor her, because that is what has been in his heart, to find a way to honor Kennedy. So he created that album and the playlist. How many songs does it have?
The album has 10 songs, I believe.
10 songs. And what, if someone who's watching and wants to listen to that, where can they find it?
You could find it Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. I mean, like anywhere actually. Yeah.
Okay. Leonidas. And, well, because his name is Leonidas, I call him Leonidas. And besides honoring Kennedy through this album, what was also your intention in creating the album for other people? What was your intention?
Well, yeah. Besides honoring Kennedy, and besides trying to find a way to articulate myself, I wanted to kind of I don't know. I feel like for me, when all that happened, when I lost Kennedy, I really only found solace in certain things, such as like music. I feel like Frank Ocean was a big one, because I know that he went through something similar with his brother.
Okay.
And I don't know, I would listen to that, and there were so many artists like that I would listen to, and it would just help me out a lot. I felt like it just felt comforting, and it felt like kind of good to know that there are other people out there who feel similar. And so I wanted to make that as well. I wanted to give that feeling to someone else, to kind of like let whoever else who's dealing with that, that that they're not really alone in that sense.
That's beautiful, yeah. Because that's something that he has expressed in different occasions also, that's something that he wanted when he created, this album, for those of you who are grieving, and especially, this age group, to feel accompanied, to feel that you may say, when you listen to the lyrics and the sentiment, the way that he created that album has a lot of feelings, and you could feel that when you listen to each one of those songs. So the person who's grieving may have that identification, that connection with him. And this is something that he has expressed that he wants to do also, because to help others at a distance, as you felt that with those singers, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And something else that I would like Leo to share with us is a project, a very special project. The idea that he had with this project, you'll see how it's going to touch your heart as it touched mine when he shared it with me. So let's listen about his project. Tell us about your project, Leo.
So the project, it's a film project. It's called the Kennedy Project, and it's still a work in progress. But I decided a long time ago, I was still 16 at the time, that I wanted to interview people, because interview strangers, friends, loved ones, anyone on earth, because I don't know, it was, I felt that at the time I couldn't, I failed to see, like, I failed to understand love, and it took me a while to find it again in others, in music, and in don't know. I I would uh I would ask everyone the same three questions. Who
Which
are
are?
who are you?
Who are you? Because the project's based on three questions that he came up to, to create. Who are you? Is one of them.
Um, what makes you wake up in the morning?
What makes you wake up in the morning?
And your thoughts on impermanence.
Your thoughts on impermanence. Huge word there. Okay. And what made you choose those three words for your project? Because there are so many questions that you can
Yeah.
ask. So why those three questions?
Well, I don't know. I felt like I wanted to create something that people could watch and they'll see it and they'll I don't know. It'll maybe make their day, make them think about something. And I feel like, you know, I feel like there's so many people out there who are creating, reasons why you shouldn't take your life, why you shouldn't do that. But I wanted to kind of try to like find a reason to give people like why you should be here, rather than why you shouldn't, take your life kind of thing. I wanted to show people that despite like all the adversity we face, despite all the evil that is in the world, there's also good, between people, and there's always love being shared between others. You know, even if even if you're going through the worst time, even if you're having the worst day, there's still gonna be love. And it's those three questions. I feel like everyone has something that helps them wake up in the morning. You know, um, everyone is every single person is individually different, individually unique, and it's like no matter what, you'll be able to answer those three simple questions. And I don't know. I wanted to ask people that to I guess to kind of show that, yeah.
And how many people have you interviewed so far?
I don't even know if I could count it, but I will say that every single time I interview a person, it definitely makes me learn more about myself.
How?
It makes me reflect on, because every single time I interview someone, what I've noticed is that never do I get the similar answers. Never. Every single time it's different. And because of that, I've, you know, my answers to those questions have gradually changed over time. You know, and it definitely makes me reflect more on on like who I am as a person and what my beliefs are, and you know it's made me think a lot more, and it's helped me build better connections with people, and I don't know, it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And he says it is a beautiful thing, to have this connection with people as he asks them. And I want also to say something that is so beautiful from Leonidas is that he is so profound, such a young man. I met him when he was 16. He's 18 now, as I said. And what I have discovered in him as a human being, that despite, as he's just said, going through adversity and so much pain and such a huge loss, he's so reflective, he's so profound. This young man, he's so into connecting with his emotions and wanting to make a difference. And one of those things is, when he created these three questions. And there's that word that always stays with me that I want to elaborate on that. Impermanence.
Impermanence.
Impermanence, Leonidas. What do you want to tell us about impermanence and what made you choose that word?
After everything went down, you know, I it made me realize how, you know, impermanent things are. When you're a teenager, everything everything is permanent to you, for nothing really matters that much. and it also made me understand how permanent certain things are. Like I didn't understand how permanent death was, or losing someone was, and I didn't understand how impermanent, times could be.
Mm.
And yeah, you just don't think about those things when you're a teenager. All you think about is, you know, school and hanging out with people, and those things just don't matter to you as much. And so when that happened to me, I felt like that was the only thing I could think about, and I I suddenly understood, how quickly time could just slip out of your hands, and it's I don't know, it's a scary feeling. I think it's a scary thought. Um, it's terrifying at first, but eventually, um, someone told me that if everything was permanent, would you really enjoy it?
Oh,
So, I don't know. I kind of think about that a lot, and it's uh, it's it's just I don't know. Yeah.
knowing about the concept of impermanence, and you just mentioned the word time, knowing that things and people are impermanent, how can you connect it with time? What message can you give not only to young people like you, but to everybody, including adults? What message can you give us with the concept of impermanence and when you bring time into the equation? The equation.
Um, what message can I give about the
That
con
things are impermanent, and what about time that passes?
um and how impermanent time is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about that you actually had a short film about that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember. Um, no, yeah, time goes by you so fast. It's weird. I mean, it feels like yesterday I was just starting high school, you know, or that I had just met Kennedy, and then now I, I'm I'm moving this week. It's weird, and it's like um
Tell us about that, because this is something amazing. Amazing. It is, it brings so much joy to my heart to know what Leo has achieved, because he had a dream and he actually achieved that dream. Tell us about it, Leo.
um well, yeah. Uh, Basically, I'm going to film school in New York. I always wanted to go to New York City. Um, I feel like there's just a lot of opportunity up there. Um, and yeah, no, I'll be up there for film, studying film, hopefully perfecting my craft.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, it was always something that I wanted. I mean, probably since like eighth grade, but eventually, like, after everything happened, I stopped caring about it
Yes,
for a while.
you know.
I even dropped out of high school for a little bit too. I just didn't really care about anything. And then I don't know. I don't really know exactly what it was, but um, I think it was just that I, I'd made the album. I had started making things, and I kind of realized that I I needed some direction in my life. You know, I don't know why, but the biggest reason why I decided to go back to school and go to college was because a friend told me. All she said was, "Leo, go to college." That's all she said. And I don't know why that just like when she said that, it just like affected me so much, and it just made me think about it so much. And I decided that I would try to go to film school in New York like how I always wanted. And I think also because Kennedy had always told me that you know I'd always talk to her about that, and she always loved that I would dream so much. And I don't know. I felt like I didn't want to disappoint Kennedy. You know, if I just stayed in Miami and didn't do anything. So yeah, I just wanted to make her happy and make her proud. So
So with you, as we have heard Leo talking and sharing our story, such a strong story. And it's a story, yes, based on grief. Still, it is a story based on love. Because we always, said that. One side of the coin now is grief, and the other side is love. And that is what has moved Leo to continue to moving forward, honoring Kennedy through his album, through his film, through his project, Kennedy Project, which, as he said, it is an ongoing project because you're gonna have even a website and everything, right?
yeah, I plan on it.
Exactly. He wants to continue. He wants to continue interviewing people and all that, and that is the idea that as he shared with us, that he wants to inspire others that may not find a purpose in life to continue. So instead of telling them not to take their lives, but he wants to bring that awareness to people that they can still find meaning in their lives, so they continue. And that's why we wanted to call this conversation Finding Meaning After Loss, because he is that inspiration, finding that meaning through his music, through his films, to honor Kennedy and continue with that legacy and continue moving forward as he becomes a filmmaker. As I told him, my God, it's gonna be so beautiful to see you doing all these things, because the beauty, besides all that, his talent, because he's extremely talented. What makes this young man also so special is his heart. His heart is huge, and you can feel it through his music, through his films. Leo, before we leave, do you want to just say a message to the world?
Um, I guess as simple as it is, as kind of corny as it is too, you just have to love each other. You know, you just have to put love out there, and you'll receive it.
Because love is the most powerful emotion. Thank you, Leo. This has been beautiful, sharing time with you. Thank you for listening, for watching, and we would totally appreciate it if you can share this video with people you feel it can help. Thank you, and you have a beautiful day.